And pretty late on Thanksgiving here. I didn't know if we were going to fire up a live stream, but sat down, had a real conversation with myself and said, you can't try to act like you live stream more than anybody else ever if you are not going to live stream tonight. So we had that real conversation. So we are here. Let me spend a little bit of time setting this up. I hope all of you had a phenomenal Thanksgiving. I really do hope that you were able to spend it with your family, that you had some good food, that you got to watch some of these good football games. I'll say for Thursday football games, pretty damn good, right? Obviously, I mean, they aren't the usual Thursday night game. I mean, I don't necessarily think we should expect them to be those Amazon games, but still was very excited to actually see that we had some quality football on TV today. And as I stalled to set this up, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this live stream, subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. I've not missed a single day of live streaming in 150 days. If you want to check out all these player props on Underdog Fantasy, they're going to continue to add more and more as we get closer to Sunday. Make sure you go to the link in the comment section, the link in the description, the link in the live chat. Sign up for Underdog, use promo code FLOCK, and they will match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. And also next week, they're going to be getting everybody a free bet for week 13. Only if you signed up with promo code FLOCK, a Patrick Mahomes more than less than, I believe, half a passing yard, which will be very, very exciting. Super happy that we were able to get that for y'all. But let me send this out and get that link. Set up a poll. We are almost done. I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We just need to throw a question out here. So we got Luke spamming the chat saying Saquon Barkley is a sell. I know a lot of people are very worried about Saquon Barkley, and obviously the New York Giants looked horrendous today, but we have to keep in mind a couple things. The Giants didn't have 3 offensive linemen. The Giants went up against arguably the best defense in the entire NFL. So it was a very tough spot for Saquon Barkley. Realistically speaking, I don't know what we could have been expecting. Like I said, I know it's not great, but I mean, he still got there, right? Like, let me go ahead. Let me pull this up for everybody. Okay. So Saquon Barkley had the rushing touchdown. So he had 10 points on the ground. In a PPR format, he had the 4 receptions. So Saquon Barkley, in like the ugliest game imaginable, still had 15 fantasy points. That's just what the workload gives you when you're going to get that many touches. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are very worried about Saquon Barkley. Now, Simo says, happy Thanksgiving. Can you see Jacoby Myers' snap count? Let me go ahead and let me see if PFF has put out the snap counts yet. Obviously, we get all these snap counts from PFF. Let's look at PFF Patriots Vikings snap count. I'm imagining we're not going to get these for quite some time, my friend. Yeah, I think we'll have them out by tomorrow, but not right now. It's too early. Robert says, do I start Montgomery or DK Metcalf at the flex? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play David Montgomery. Don't love the matchup going up against the Jets, but if we have no Khalil Herbert here, I mean, you are just in a spot where David Montgomery is going to have a ridiculous amount of snaps, a ridiculous amount of touches, approximately all of them. So yeah, I think that we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Montgomery. And then if Mixon plays, do I start him? Yes. If Joe Mixon were to play, we would start Joe Mixon over Montgomery. Now, Jack says, yo, we need a flex. Who should I target? If I package Justin Fields and Christian Watson on my bench, I have Deshaun Watson. Okay. I think if we were looking at a move like that, we would be going for the wide receiver we always do, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's go ahead and let's get him. Let's go get A.J. Brown if we can't get that done. I think some people are worried about Jameson Williams, but I'm not. Now, Lightning says, just here to flex Zeke over Pollard. Happy you had a good turkey day. Hope you did as well. And yes, Lightning deserves to be able to flex on us. We'll go through and we'll recap all these games right now. Lightning 100% deserves to flex on us in that he said Ezekiel Elliott was a better play than Tony Pollard today. We kind of laughed at him. We said Tony Pollard at 67.5 rushing yards is a line that we want to be taking the fewer than on, and we did hit that. Tony Pollard, 60 rushing yards, so I am happy with that. But Ezekiel Elliott 92 rushing yards and the rushing touchdown. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott gets a reception. Tony Pollard only has 2 receptions. I mean, if we're looking at the workload, they split it damn near 50-50. So, I mean, this is why we were talking about selling high on Saquon Barkley. Not Saquon Barkley, on Tony Pollard. Not that I don't like Tony Pollard. Not that I don't think he's a talented option. But just because the Dallas Cowboys refused to bench Ezekiel Elliott. CeeDee Lamb dominated. Dalton Schultz had the 2 receiving touchdowns. Looked pretty damn good when he had him as well. Going over to the Giants side of things, we already talked about Saquon Barkley and that Saquon Barkley muscled his way through to give you enough fantasy points where you're not disappointed, even in just a one-sided contest there after halftime. And then going over to the first game of the slate, we had the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions. It looked like Detroit was going to win. I mean, I thought that we were going to have to eat some words here. Y'all know we were not massive Detroit Lions fans coming into the season. You had Isaiah McKenzie, who had continued to increase his snap count every single week, essentially leading up till this one. I mean, leading the team in receiving with 96 yards and a receiving touchdown. Stephon Diggs always going to come through. Stephon Diggs always going to be there. Gabe Davis is just a wide receiver that's going to give you, some random spikes, but a lot of times you're going to be getting dud games as well. Now, going over to the rushing side of things, Devin Singletary did not score a touchdown. So another one of those props on Underdog we did hit with, which is very exciting. And if we're going to be looking at Josh Allen, he led the team in rushing, had the rushing touchdown. He had 253 passing yards, just an elite level fantasy option at the quarterback position because that rushing upside, of course. Jamal Williams continues to be the running back 1. Swift had some usage as a pass catcher. DeAndre Swift still not startable. Still cannot start DeAndre Swift. Amon-Ra St. Brown dominated for Detroit. I think Jameson Williams comes in and honestly helps the Detroit Lions offense and doesn't really take away much from Amon-Ra St. Brown, given the fact that, Amon-Ra St. Brown operates a little closer to the line of scrimmage where Jameson Williams is going to be that deep threat for the Detroit Lions. But real quick, we are 1 like away from hitting 100 likes on this live stream. So if you could go down there and hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. But going over to the New England Patriots and Minnesota Vikings game, Kirk Cousins had a pretty good game. Kirk Cousins for primetime has the Minnesota Vikings dropping 33 points here, which you should be very excited about. Kirk Cousins throws a touchdown to Jefferson, who just absolutely dominates. 140 receiving yards, the receiving touchdown, 9 receptions. Thielen has 9 receptions and the touchdown. Hawkinson has 43 receiving yards and the receiving touchdown as well. Dalvin Cook gives you 22 carries, but only 42 rushing yards. Dalvin Cook gives you absolutely no efficiency, has all the volume you could ever ask for, but with his 22 carries, he gives you 42 rushing yards. With his 4 receptions, he gives you 14 receiving yards. I honestly think Dalvin Cook is going to be plummeting down people's fantasy football rankings. We could be looking at him as a potential buy low candidate. I don't know. Maybe. Going over to the New England Patriots, y'all know we've said that Ramondre Stevenson's just looking like the Alvin Kamara in New England. 9 receptions, 76 receiving yards. You love him in a full PPR format. You probably hate him in a non-PPR league. I don't think there's too much to talk about elsewhere in New England. Really nobody else viable. Now, our next question coming out from, I believe, AJ says, standard league, are we going to go Dameon Pierce or James Conner at the flex? I'm going to go James Conner easily. James Conner has a great matchup going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, FBA says, Pirine, White, if Mixon and Fournette don't play / are limited, or Cordell Patterson for running back 2. So, if Mixon were not to play and Fournette was limited, I think I will go Samaje Perine over Rachaad White and Cordell Patterson. If Joe Mixon and Leonard Fournette were both to play, I will go Rachaad White over both of these options. But my current expectation is we have no Mixon on Sunday. You have Leonard Fournette playing. So I think we probably go Perine, but if Mixon were to be active, then pivot to Rachaad. Now, RJ says, CeeDee Lamb rest of season, Jamar or Jet Wilson Jr. versus Houston at the flex spot. I'd say full BBR format. You are going to go ahead. You're going to take Jamar Chase over Jet Wilson Jr. Despite Jet Wilson Jr. having a phenomenal matchup against the Houston Texans. And then with CeeDee Lamb rest of season, super exciting wide receiver. I think that if you end up getting Odell Beckham Jr. going over to Dallas, it may open up a buy low moment for CeeDee Lamb, if your trade deadline isn't passed, of course. Now, Caveman Cook's coming out. Happy to have you out here, my friend. Says, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great one. Hope you did as well, my friend. We need one flex in a non-PPR format. Dameon Pierce, Keenan Allen, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Olave, Christian Watson, Treylon Burks. Okay, so if this were to be a full PPR league, I go Chris Olave, and I don't think twice. Non-PPR league, I think that Chris Olave as well as Dameon Pierce are going to be relatively close. I think that these are two guys that we can maybe go back and forth with just a little. I'll go Dameon Pierce in a non-PPR format. If Olave had a better matchup than the 49ers, I think we could go Olave. In a full PPR league, you play the wide receiver since Dameon Pierce isn't going to be involved as a pass catcher. Y'all know I've not been a Dameon Pierce fan. Y'all know we've been saying to move Dameon Pierce off your roster for quite some time. Non-PPR format, he'll be better than a PPR league, in my opinion. Now, cooling off says in a 12-team league where we start 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, in a flex, in a full PPR format where we're 8-2, do you think we could win? We have Hurts, Watson at quarterback. Running back, we have Mixon, CMC, Wilson, Madison, Dobbins. Wide receiver, we have Diggs, A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, Godwin, Watson, Burks, Deontay. Tight end, we have Njoku, Everett. Of course you can win, my friend. You have literally an elite level quarterback. You have 2 potential top 5 RBs and another mid running back too. You have, 3 wide receiver 1s and another high-end wide receiver 2. The only position that is weak at all is going to end up being the tight end spot with David Njoku / Gerald Everett. I think you're in a very good situation, my friend. A very good situation. Now, Original Stoner says, full PPR start Michael Carter or Rachaad White. I'll go ahead. I'll start Rachaad White over Michael Carter. I know Mike White's maybe coming in to save the day, but I would be looking to avoid the Jets if possible. Now, Vanagan says, in a 12-team PPR format, we have Kyler, Jefferson, Lamb, Chase, St. Brown, Debo, Christian Watson, Burks, Kamara, Pierce, White, P. Ryan, Schultz, Higbee. League mates won't give Andrews and Etienne. What moves should we look to make? Okay, so if we were looking to do anything, I think Debo Samuel is going to be an intriguing sell piece, knowing that he's currently our wide receiver 4 on this team. If Debo Samuel's our wide receiver 4, Christian Watson's our wide receiver 5, I would like the idea of going through and packaging together maybe Debo Samuel and Dameon Pierce to go out of our way and get a running back that we can be very excited about. I mean, maybe we could go through and get an injured Joe Mixon for the fantasy football playoffs. I would really like that. That's the construction of a trade I'm going to be looking at. Mike says, Isaiah Pacheco, Miles Sanders, and Leonard Fournette. We got to pick 2. In a full BBR format, we'll go Miles Sanders and Leonard Fournette because Pacheco's not going to catch the ball. That's going to be a full PPR league, however. Now, Levi says start Godwin or T. Higgins. We're going to go ahead. I think that we are going to be taking T. Higgins over Chris Godwin. Relatively close rest of season for us. But, before we have Jamar Chase on the field, before we have Jamar Chase at 100%, I think you can go through and play T. Higgins relatively easily. But I think that should be it. I just wanted to go through and give a quick update with the games that we had today. Let me remind everybody, you can find all these player props on Underdog. Link in the live chat, link in the description, link in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK, 100% deposit match, as well as it's available in damn near every state. And next week, week 13, we are going to have a free bet for everybody who signed up with promo code FLOCK. The Patrick Mahomes, more than half a passing yard, which I am very excited about. But I think that should be it. Of course, thank you so much for being a member of the flock. I truly do appreciate you. I really do hope you have a great day. I'll be live tomorrow morning talking about some players falling down my rankings at the running back position, at the wide receiver position. But thank you again, everyone. I hope that you have a great day. I hope that we get to see you in the live stream tomorrow morning. And yeah, happy Thanksgiving.